In this video, we will be tying the Turk's head knot to form a small coaster. To start with, take the standing end of your rope and pin it at point A. Continue with the standing end of the rope and pin through the blue loop. Continue with the standing end of the rope to form the orange loop. The orange loop lies completely over the blue loop and therefore does not require to be woven in and out. Once you reach point 4, or the transition between orange and black, put the last pin in, and it is from this point that you will move to the other end of the rope, or the working end. There's a simple rule to follow from this point on. If the previous intersection has your working rope going over the loops below, the next one has to have it coming under. At point 4, I've gone over, so at point 5, my black working yarn is going to go under the blue loop. I will then go over the orange loop and under the blue loop again at point 7. Once you've gone in and out about 3 times, try and pull your working rope through. Through until the standing end of the rope now lies entirely over the black part of the template. You can put in another pin if you need it. Go back to the working end of your rope and now at point 9 go under. At point 10, you go over again. At this point, you will realize that you're back at your starting point A. The first pass of your rope is done and you have formed the bones of your knot. We will now just keep tracing through the exact curves of the rope twice so that we can form a final coaster. Over and under and over again. As you can see, as I trace through the loop, I lay my rope inside the first pass. Work as slowly as you like. Once you've figured out the knot, it really gets easy fast. You might occasionally need to take the twists out of the rope, and once it's flat again, continue moving the working end through. We are almost done with the second pass of the rope. To come back to point A. At this point, the knot has enough structure to support itself, and you can safely remove the pins, anchoring it to your template. Go back to your working end and trace through once again. With the shorter length of rope at the working end and no pins in your way, you'll realize this goes through really fast. Just remember to keep your rope on the inner side all the way through. Looks like I have a twist. Let me back that out, untwist it and put it through again. We are almost at the end of our knot. 3 bites more to go. And if your knot doesn't look anything like mine, don't worry. It's an ideal time to pull it all apart and just restart. It takes a while to figure them out, but once you do, you see the beautiful logic behind them. The Turk's head knot is an incredibly versatile knot. It can be tightened to form a bead, into a vogel or a cylinder. It can lay flat. So if you find that your knot is actually curving to form almost a bowl shape, don't worry about it. It just means you need to loosen the outer bite, the outermost pass of the rope, and coax it into position. Yes, and I've got it through. Almost done. Nudge this apart so that I have a space to bring my rope out. And the last time I go through, I'm back at point A. And the way I know that is because when I flip it over, I can see my standing end right here. I'm going to take my standing end and pass it through the other ropes that form the same lead. And you can attach it with either super glue or sew it so that it stays in place. But most of the time I find if you just pass it through, it tends to stay. Now this is your working end. You can either trace through a little more. One second, I just realized this was too tight. You can either trace through another bit and leave the end underneath the next bite and snip it so that it's hidden underneath. You can loop it to form a handle. It's up to you. I'm just going to take it through this set of 3 ropes. End it right there. You can use a little bit of sellotape around it and then just snip it, and you have your Turk's head coaster done.